Hello, welcome back to V-Gaming. Thanks for logging in. It's Saturday. I gotta get some videos out. I'm trying to keep this consistent. Let's get this up. How you doing? This is the Save Ranks. Join us on our Steam group, V-Gaming. Follow me on Twitter at V-Gaming. And that's all the plugs I'll be doing. Let's get right into it for today's video for February 1st. Yowza. That was fast. Just a couple of little quick tidbits. Yeah, I said tidbits. Do the kids still? I don't. The kids don't say tidbits. But basically, what happened was, Bloodbourne 60 FPS mod that was downloadable and installable on PlayStation actual hardware, so on your PS4 and on your Pro, I think specifically, and it lets you run the game at 60 FPS. Digital Foundry covered it. You basically had to jailbreak your PlayStation and install this mod on there, and it'll let you play that past it. It would drop the resolution, so the game will look kind of crappy, but you can still play the game at an unlocked frame rate. Sony issued a DMCA takedown of that mod. You can no longer share the link to it anymore. Which it only took Sony about 4 years. How come they didn't shut it down before? And fans are already huffing the copium that Sony's about to announce a remaster. I'd have to look that up, but this has happened before, where something was just chilling by itself. Was it Dark Souls? No, it wasn't Dark Souls. Was it Demon Souls? Wasn't there a multiplayer mod? No, there was multiplayer still active on the PS3 version of the game, and all that got pulled and yanked and taken down right before they announced the Demon Souls remaster. There's also been, hit me up in chat. I know there's been instances where there have been mods or emulation of games that got suddenly taken down after they've been available for a while, and then later on, a remaster, re-release, or whatever of that software has happened. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it, but I know it's happened before. So hit me up in the comments. Maybe I'll look it up after this video. But anyway, that's what all the speculation is. And coming up, I think in another 2 months, would be the 10th anniversary of Bloodbourne. So if you're going to do it then. And that'd be your big splash, Sony. Put that up. If they do that, that will be on PC at the same time. That might even be on Xbox. That wouldn't shock me. The rumor I'm hearing behind the scenes is that they would want Miyazaki-san involved in this. Maybe they already have him, but he's been a busy guy. So that could be maybe the reason for the holdup. He's been a very busy guy the last forever. He's been busy since Dark Souls 1. Technically, Demon Souls, he wasn't there for Demon Souls. Or he was there, but he wasn't like the lead director or something like that. He worked on that, I believe. Also, correct me. And then the first game he was like director and stuff on was Dark Souls, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's that. Sony just axed the 60 FPS Bloodbourne mod with a DMCA'd takedown. And I only came to here because I wanted to get this guy Lance McDonald's name, so I could show this. This is the creator of the mod, and this is a picture of the Sony former PlayStation former president. And I make mods for PlayStation. He said, "Oh," and I said, and I made the 60 FPS mod for Bloodbourne, and he laughed so hard. Beautiful, meet him. Such a nice person. So there's that. What do you guys think? You think fans are huffing the copium? Can we hope and pray for a Bloodbourne mod? Sony would make all the money. That'd be a way for them to steal some of the thunder back from Microsoft after the big developer thing, the big Xbox developer thing. It's been 2 weeks ago now where they kind of set everything on fire. Kind of inspired me to get back into making these videos. I felt like I should have covered that. Maybe I will. Do you guys want to see my honest reaction to that stuff? I can watch those trailers over and over. That was a pretty solid developer direct that they did. But that's about it. I got taken down right on the cusp of the 10th year anniversary of Bloodbourne. Maybe we'll see some movement over there. Sony could definitely do with a W after, actually, you know what? Spider-Man 2 Steam DB. In real time, let's see how it's doing. Not price history. Let's do player count. Charts. Peak of 27,000. Don't get me wrong, for most games, that's pretty good. But for a Spider-Man game, a major PlayStation exclusive like this? What was it for Horizon? Zero Dawn. Remastered's pretty low. Yikes. That's the remastered one, though. Too bad we can't look up the other ones. What were some other PlayStation games? How about Spider-Man 1? Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. Yeah, see, 66,000. How much for Miles Morales? $13,000. Okay, it's a spin-off. Yeah, but at 27,000, that's not so hot. How about Returnal? Returnal to the store, as I like to call it. Yeah, that tracks. Okay, so yeah, Spider-Man ain't doing so hot over there. Sales-wise and stuff, it's doing well, but people aren't really playing it. I bet you there's a lot of returns, too, because the performance is pretty crap. People want to return it in that 2-hour window. So we'll see. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at it right now. There's our Steam group. I'll be posting the link for this in there as well. Let's take a look at stats, shall we? Top sellers. It was number 1 the other day. Now it's number 6. Civ 7, Marvel Rivals. When I made the video, this was number 1. There was 2 Marvel games at number 1 and number 2 on Steam. Most played. Yikes. It's number 6 top selling, but it's number 59 most played, behind Enshrouded. Final Fantasy Online 14. That's probably what I'm going to be playing next when I get off of here. I'm going to be making a video tonight in that game. Balacho's 38th, Valheim. Okay. We're not here for that. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Next up in my little news, BioWare hit with layoffs as it shifts to the next Mass Effect game. Oof. Makes me cringe what the next Mass Effect game is going to be. If it's anything like Veilguard, rip Mass Effect, and rip BioWare in general. The only BioWare that's still doing anything of value is the one down in Austin, and they're the ones who were in charge of the Old Republic, and that game's still going strong. That's one of the most underrated MMOs and one of the most underrated Star Wars games ever, and it's still pretty solid. They're doing a pretty good job for what that is down there, so good on them. BioWare now has fewer than 100 employees after laying off around 24 staffers and shifting others to different projects. The changes follow BioWare's own studio update published last week, where GM Gary McKay said the studio had worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with other teams at EA that had open roles. Dozens of staffers that had been loaned out to other teams at EA after the release of Dragon Age Veilguard apparently learned this week that those shifts would be permanent. Oh, so they got moved to other teams and you ain't going back to your old team. Oh, man. McKay said that a core team at the studio is developing the next Mass Effect game, which got a teaser trailer more than 4 years ago. And the changes will help BioWare become a more agile, focused studio. So they couldn't be agile and focused with the awe in there. Last week, EA said the bad guys significantly missed expectations. EA Sports FC hasn't done as well as expected during EA's... Yeah, because y'all lost the FIFA license. It's been FIFA since the Genesis days, the Mega Drive days, the Super Nintendo days. I had FIFA on the freaking Panasonic 3DO. To me, that was like my favorite version because I could cheese the computer. It was really fun. EA didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. IGN also reported this week on the layoffs at BioWare. Well, that's a damn shame. Anyway, seriously, I'm not happy for anyone losing their job over there. It's just a shame that it had to be over that game. Anyway, one of the Larian people had something to say about that. Larian head of publishing tears into EA after BioWare layoffs waste institutional knowledge. On a pirate ship, they tossed the captain overboard. Oof. A profit drop doesn't have to mean a single closed shop. So basically, he said, it is possible not to lay off large parts of your development teams between or after projects. Critically, retaining that institutional knowledge is key for the next game. It's often used as an excuse to trim fat. What'd they say? Hang on, what'd they say? More agile. Will help BioWare become a more agile, focused studio. They often use an excuse to trim fat. To an extent, I understand that under financial pressure, but doesn't that just highlight how needless the aggressively efficient efficiency of giant corporations is? He isn't necessarily throwing stones from a glass house here. Larian is a big old studio, true. But it's something of an anomaly in the games industry. Tencent has a minority, non-voting stake in the company, but it's otherwise completely independent and free of shareholders. Baldur's Gate 3 very much seems like a product of a studio free from those expectations, being able to take its damn time. I'd understand it if they were just pumping out hit after hit. Perhaps you could argue it's working, but clearly the aggressive streamlining layoffs aren't. It's nothing but cost cutting in the most brutal sense. It's always people lower down the food chain that suffer, when it's clearly strategy higher up the food chain that causes the problem. They don't care though. They got the DEI check and they got their bonuses, so what does it matter to them? Yeah, I saw somewhere too that EA now makes like something like 70% of their revenue off of live service games, which would be like Plants vs Zombies 2 and 3, Madden and FIFA. I'm sorry, FC Club, and stuff like that. Apex Legends, stuff like that. But meanwhile, EA stock rises on analyst upgrade. BioWare layoffs shake up gaming giant. So BioWare went up 3.4% based on they got changed from what is a caution to a buy, or whatever. Did I see that? Vilgar, which failed to meet sales expectations and faced gamer backlash. However, Griffin now believes the situation may not be as dire as initially feared. No, EA is Ubisoft. They're right behind Ubisoft. Once this Ubisoft mess gets straightened out, I promise you it's going to be EA. Looking for the exit, looking for a buyout, looking for a merger. Yeah, they're next. They're next. It was Bethesda, and then Activision Blizzard, and then now Ubisoft. It's going to be EA next. Who else would be next in that old guard? So, that is this. So, what do you guys think? You know? What do you guys think about Bloodbourne coming? Possibly. What do you guys think about BioWare having to lay people off? What do you think about the cheeky Larian employee over there? Part of the leadership team. Throwing EA under the bus. What do you think about no matter what, the stock still went up? And what do you think about Spider-Man 2? Not necessarily flopping. It sold well. And it will sell well. But only 27,000 people. Yeah, it's 22,222 in game. We caught it right in time, chat. But anyway, I'm going to take off. I'll probably post another video. I'll record a video tonight. It's all about Final Fantasy XIV, the game that we saw had more players than Final Fantasy, than Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 just came out like yesterday. Final Fantasy XIV was originally a PlayStation 3 game. There's more people playing a PlayStation 3 game that just had its 10th anniversary. Yeah, they just had their 10th anniversary when Endwalker came out. That was 2 years ago. A year-ish ago. Yeah. Wait, Endwalker was 2 years ago. Yeah. So they're on year number 12 now. The 12-year-old PlayStation 3 game has more current players right now on Steam than... And they're talking about what's up with the player base on Final Fantasy XIV. There's so many people taking a break from it right now. Because it's kind of a lull in between the actual content and stuff. Since the last expansion, Dawntrail, up until like whatever the next big expansion. Not big expansion. There's that. But the next actual big content in the game, like your next big raid, your Hildebrand quests, and your epic weapon grind, stuff like that. So it's kind of a lull in content. So we're talking about where's the population going for that game, and it still has more concurrent players on Steam than Spider-Man 2 does, which just came out the other day. It's a little concerning. You know what you could use right now to kind of boost things up, Sony? Bloodbourne. Bloodbourne would cure all these ills. Bloodbourne would easily be triple digits on Steam. So it would sell just as well on Xbox too. It's already out on your PlayStation. Yeah, you'd sell your remaster on PlayStation, but you'd be a fool to leave Xbox and PlayStation out in the crowd, out in the cold. Wouldn't surprise me if you wanted to port it to the Switch too. I'd put it on the Switch too. Can you imagine Bloodbourne as a launch title on the Switch too? Money. Can you imagine Spider-Man 1 and 2 on the Switch too? Money. I'm just saying. You'd love to see it. Anyway, for the third time, I'm about to be up out of here. Y'all be good. Thanks for hanging out. Hit me up on the Steam group. Hit me up on Elon Musk's Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. The V-Gaming. Peace. Catch you guys later. Have a good day.